Welcome back to Cal Park Bros. Jason and I are fresh off the segment discussing Prayer Pete. Why, yes, that is a Pistol Pete reference. The third and last segment, we're going to be covering, sadly, another conspiracy to riot scenario, this time in Idaho. And this is articles from CNN. Idaho police officers arrested 31 people Saturday who are believed to be affiliated with the white nationalist group Patriot Front after they were seen gathering near a pride parade in the city of Coeur d'Alene, authorities said. It is clear to us that based on the gear the individuals had with them, the stuff they had in their possession, the U-Haul with them, with the paperwork that was seized from them, that they came to riot downtown, Coeur d'Alene Police Chief Lee White said during a news conference. Every time I hear about, I feel like there's like as many white supremacist groups as there are Wayans brothers. It's like the Chappelle joke where it's like, Wayans brothers, you mean there's another one?
You mean there's more?
My God, get a fucking hobby, you losers. They took our jobs.
Well, they must be mad about something else that's jobs in this case. But yeah, exactly. That same mentality, yeah.
Yeah, so 31 of these assholes got arrested. Thank God. They all had identical insignias. Well, that's one way to make sure you dumbasses stand out. And there was at least one smoke grenade in their possession, police said. Now, according to the Anti-Defamation League, Patriot Front is a white supremacist group whose members maintain their ancestors conquered America and left it to them. The group split from another white supremacist group, Vanguard America, in late 2017. White said the group was equipped with shields, shin guards, and other riot gear with them, along with papers he described as similar to an operations plan that a police or military group would put together for an event. These 31 individuals were arrested for conspiracy to riot, which is a misdemeanor. Shame. Adding the suspects came from at least 11 states. Gas high as hell. What the hell y'all traveling here for, dog? All right, I'm done. Jason, thoughts?
You can't be done already. You got more.
Oh, I'm done. I'm shutting off the valve. Where you at? It's ridiculous.
Nah, bro. So yeah, as you're reading off all the stuff they had with them, the shields, the shin guards, smoke grenades, all whatever like that. My thought is that kind of escalates my opinion on this already. Number one, I'm thinking, as we talked about this yesterday, that like if you have a problem with this type of event happening, don't go. Even more to the point, these people came from 11 different states. Another reason you didn't have to go. And why'd you? And not only this, why this event? Because apparently this group is based in Texas, of all places, of course. So I'm sure they all didn't come from Texas, obviously. But for real, why this one? What's the point? But then also adding that all the stuff they had, like you said, they're there to riot. Like why? Why go there with all that aggression? It's one thing for you to stand on the side with your signs opposing it, which is your right. Well, seemingly what they had planned was aggression and probably a little bit of violence. And my thought is, why? Like I said a minute ago, like anyone, well, what the right mind will say, if you have a problem with it, then don't go. You want to see it, don't look. I just don't understand this growing aggression that people have towards these events. It's one thing for people not to like Pride Month and Pride parades, which I have an opinion about that too. But to try to stop them from happening, like for what? Why? I think one thing people need to remember with this stuff is you may not like Pride Month and Pride parades, stuff like that, but keep in mind these events and this month may not be for you. I mean, the name of the event itself is Pride, right? The movement, whatever you want to call it. I hate calling it a movement, but you guys know what I mean, hopefully. Pride. It's for people who are in the LGBT community to have pride in who they are. Because for a long time, and still the case to the point of this article, they're made to feel shameful of who they are. They had to hide it for so long. Maybe not people of today, as many compared to 20, 30 years ago, but it still happens. Maybe not so much for adults, but think about, and I know this is a point of contentment for a lot of people, which I'm also going to go into, but think about what those, children who are part of the Pride community, who are definitely made to hide who they are, or they feel like they can't come out who they are because of relative, friends, whoever, media, whoever it may be, to say, hey, you shouldn't be this way. No, you can't talk about this in school at all, whether it's curriculum or otherwise. So, so that's what these events are for. For those individuals, adults or kids, who, even if it's just that one moment, can show some pride in who they are, and it's fine. Now, I found an article from Time Magazine mentioning that there were 11 different events across the country, which is a small number, but still 11 different events across the country that had the threat of violence present, of groups. Now, the article mentions right wing groups that wanted to put a stop to this. I'm not here to try to demonize right wing groups, because that part really doesn't matter. Because that doesn't matter if you're a left wing person going against this too. Doesn't matter. But now those 11 events, obviously, again, a small number, but the fact that people are willing, or groups are willing to go out of their way, probably in most cases, to go against these people with violence and aggression, I think it's just, for lack of a better term, it's just people have just forgotten how to mind their business. Yes, it's your right to protest against things peacefully, of course, but in cases like this, when you go into events with riot gear, essentially, and you're not the police, what does that say?
It's some Charlottetown bullshit, dude. That's all it is. Like, it's some throw a rock and then hide your hand, or in some cases, not even hide your hand. It's just throw more rocks. You know, those people were there to do damage, and the FBI, after last week's shenanigans with the Larry Nassar case, have earned a little bit of goodwill from me, because yeah, good on them for nipping this in the bud before it could become a bigger problem. Yeah, I think nobody travels like that to protest. You travel like that because you want to get into trouble. And I'm not talking good trouble.
You know what? Another thing I thought of real quick that also goes into what you just said, how all these people travel from all these other states to go to this one event in Idaho, of all places. Can we think of another event where people acted in violence and aggression that came from all over the place? Something that's having hearings about it right now. Exactly. So, but yeah, so I mentioned too that people also seem to have issues when it comes to the LGBTQ. I'll go ahead and say the quote unquote gay agenda. Again, not my quote, folks. It's out there. They feel like that's being forced on their children. We just talking about the last segment that, kids are easily impressionable and, can be coerced into things. So people feel like because there's so much out there that their kids are trying to be coerced into doing things. This Time Magazine article that I referenced um, mentioned that I believe in California there was an event where, like, it was called drag queen story time or story hour, something like that. So basically, somebody from the LGBT community, drag queen, reads children's books to children. Well, apparently there was a group that didn't have a problem with that, and they stormed the event, and they made it inflammatory towards the person reading the stories, calling that person um, um, an abomination, a molester because of all that stuff. Things like that make no sense whatsoever. People have that so set in their minds that this is trying to get pushed on their kids and confusing their kids, stuff like that. It's one thing to not want it in curriculum at schools. That's one thing. And I had a conversation with a mother. Well, I'm trying to go in the names here, but basically they're from another country, but they live in California. They're a mother of two daughters, and just had a conversation with her, via social media about this. And she was saying that especially when they used to live in California, and a little bit now when they live in Southern California, they have certain events where they go to, like pride parades. And she says she sees people all the time dressed very scantily clad when it comes to, people might be showing a lot of skin outwardly, wearing certain sexual attire, sexual accessories out in the parades and stuff like that. So it seems to me people that seem to have so much issues with pride really have their issues have nothing to do with the events themselves. It's their mindset of this is evil, this is bad, because they're trying to coerce our children into doing this. And one question I have to say is, okay, you don't want your children to be around these certain things, but my question is, are you trying to protect them as children, or are you trying to hide the fact that this exists from your kids? And that's the line people need to start thinking about when it comes to the ones who are trying to protect their kids, quote unquote, from this. Are you trying to protect them as kids and have those conversations with them yourselves, or are you trying to hide it from them altogether? This stuff happens, and that's one thing you need to think about. Because if you're trying to hide it from them, then you're probably doing a huge disservice to your kids, because this is reality. There are people in the community, in the world, that are LGBTQ, and you can't really hide it. Is what it is. Once they become an adult, when they go to the college, get in the workforce, they're going to work with individuals like this, and it's fine. There are normal, regular people trying to do the same thing out of life that you probably are, but because they have something different about them that you don't like for whatever reason, don't hide it. Be real with your kids. This is reality. Certain aspects when it comes to things that might be too adult for them, yeah, that part I get. But hide it from them altogether, that's just not real, and you're just being fake, and you're probably raising somebody to be a horrible person as well. So,
yeah, I always wonder about, how some of these OnlyFans teachers got outed, and they end up having to quit teaching. And first thought is, props to anybody that was doing OnlyFans and still wanted to teach. one point, and then second of all, we're gonna got a teacher shortage any damn way, and then second of all, how the hell you know about the page?
well,
Like that's how I thought about the parade. I'm like, dog, I don't know about none of that shit unless you tell me. So why do I know about it? And if it offends you that much, why are you compelled to seek it out? All right, yeah, seek
I
help.
don't
Seek
have to
that
add nothing to that. Exactly. Yeah, I don't have to add nothing to that. I mean, exactly. When you choose to live in San Francisco of all places, you can't really be too surprised with what you might see going around town. I've never been to San Francisco. Heard a lot about it. Has a reputation. So whenever I go there, whenever I go there to see a baseball game, hey, I can't be surprised about what I might see, because it's in San Francisco. It's their town. Just like you go to any other town, what you might see is going to be representative of their city. So if you live in San Francisco, or hell, for that matter, California. So there you go, people.
I just feel like everywhere is weird. And so when people try and front like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this, I'm like, bro, what rock are you living under? Like, that is willful ignorance. You know what the hell's going on in your municipality?
Exactly. Now, I'm all for people living where they want to live, but you have to also look at reality. If I ever move to Florida, I got to deal with the reality of there's probably going to be some hurricanes going on. If I don't like it, don't move to Florida. Again, I'm not saying people should isolate themselves to certain areas just because of whatever belief they may have. But again, wherever you choose to live, you're also choosing to be part of the community there. Again, you don't like it that much, get a U-Haul and move
to somewhere else that you will also be dealing with the same shit.
Exactly. Everybody knows we are a diverse nation. Is what it is. Not just because of race, religion, or even nationality technically either. Sexual orientation is also part of it too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you can't U-Haul your way out of this. You stuck here, dog.
Exactly.
That wraps up segment 3, and with that, we'll wrap up the show.